In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing the 3-part short horror film miniseries, Death Record from Social House Films. Part 1 was 15 minutes and 34 seconds, Part 2 was 9 minutes and 53 seconds, and Part 3 was 12 minutes and 23 seconds, with a total of 37 plus minutes of movie watching. Each part tells a different story about a stranger or a character, so to speak, and they listen to this death record and they start doing things where it manipulates your mind into thinking certain things of what you want, supposedly. The first part was basically based off of a drifter. She goes into and breaks into this home, and this makes her do crazy things and interesting things. Part 1 was great. It was really good. 15 minutes of short horror film is really, really good. Not much dialogue. The only dialogue we did get is from the record itself, explaining what it was or what it was doing with the noises and everything. And it was really, really fun. Anna Shields, the actress in that first part, did a phenomenal job with the acting. And the directing by Aaron Fradkin and the editing was tremendous and phenomenal. The scenery he gets and the shots he gets is tremendous. The editing, listen, I praise Aaron because he put a lot of time and effort into this 3-part miniseries. And usually they're known for their short, quick horror films or their short feature films on their YouTube page. I'll leave a link to their page and you can subscribe to them in the description box below. Aaron and Victoria really put their time and effort into it. And I noticed that when they were filming this, I saw the behind the scenes of what they were going through. Didn't expect something like this to come out of their amazing creative minds with filmmaking like this. Both Aaron and Victoria did write this 3-part miniseries, and part 1 ended amazingly and very different. Now, part 2, different tone, a little shorter than part 1, which was close to 10 minutes in length, or 9 minutes and 53 seconds, as I stated at the beginning of this review. It was something unexpected. We have the dynamic of the homeowner, or this woman, coming in, and she is just cleaning up, because we find out that it's an Airbnb. So someone broke in and she's probably just cleaning up after the last people. She doesn't know what's going on. You're just there to get in, get out, get your tenants in, get everything moving, get that cash flow going. So you want, things to be proper and pristine. Well, there is a scene where she's pulling on the hair. There's a hair in the clogged drain. As she's pulling it, this other character that's in the bathtub, who is the character that was in the first part, is in the bathtub, dead. Of course, if you saw part 1. And all of a sudden she goes, she rinses her hands, she opens her curtain, she trips, she falls, she hits her head on the sink. And then she wakes up. I feel like if she woke up with a little bit of blood or touching her head in pain, it would have made sense. And then the aspect of the other character from the first one not being there, very different. And all of a sudden she wants to get out of this house, even though it's her own B&B. She goes to the front door. This record evidently just grabs hold of her in this, paralysis state, and then the character, the drifter from the first one, stabs her in the eye, or the head, I believe. But it was freakishly so well done. Once again, no dialogue. Absolutely loved it. The record was the only thing we heard, and some noises here and there. Great. Now, part 3. Now, part 3 is kind of mentioned in part 2, because the landlord gets a text and it says, "We're coming, when can we be there?" And then the text message is sent, and then the characters in part 3 come in, and they're there for a romantic getaway because the husband or boyfriend passed his bar exam, so they're celebrating. And the woman, the character, is just infatuated with this record. She does her own thing. She eats strawberries, drinks champagne. What other way would you celebrate a milestone? And the boyfriend or the husband is sick, and all of a sudden things change. It was very different because there was a shot, which was a really good shot, and it reminded me of The Exorcist, or the recut version of The Exorcist, the director's cut, where in that film you had Ellen Bernstein's character going through the kitchen, and then all of a sudden the lights flicker and you see the flash of the demon's face on the stove oven, and then in this it felt like that too, but the camcorder just catches a glimpse of it. The lights go in and out, and that's what you see, and it took me aback. I was like, wait a minute, what's happening here? The camcorder aspect feel to it was good. The found footage, we didn't know what to expect at all. But then all of a sudden she listens to the record and things start happening. It's pretty intense and pretty insane, I want to say. And the reason I say that is because this part 3, while it's 12 minutes long, you don't expect anything at all. Because when I say you don't expect anything, it's like, okay, what's going to happen next? What's the next beat? Is there a pause? There are some parts where there are silences, and it's very different than part 1 and part 2. Part 3 had more dialogue. Great. Loved it. Definitely changed the tone. The editing was much more crazy. The sound design was impeccable. The writing is something I've never ever seen, because some things that happened, the way certain things were done in each part, stood on their own. It's like a drifter, we have the Airbnb, we understand what's happening. If you put this film together and make it one, it's close to 37 to 38 minutes of watching a feature short film, which is good. But breaking it down into 3-part miniseries was really, really clever. Part 3 had the craziest jump scare I feel like I've ever seen in a Social House Films short horror film, for that matter, or any of the films for that matter. She turns around, she screams. I didn't expect it. Listen, the reason I jumped is because when you have headphones on and you're listening to a certain way, sound design is done for a short horror film. It's so quiet, and all of a sudden it just bang right in your ears. That startles you and puts you off your kilter. And I mean it. Watch these 3-part miniseries with headphones on, then you'll understand it. Watch any short horror film with headphones on. Watch any horror film with headphones on, then you understand what I mean. It's, the music, the aspect of the sound is low. You get certain miss of dialogue, background noise, not thing, but all of a sudden, boom, pops up, then it's insane. The dream within a dream into reality sequence was really astonishing. The reason I say that is because, okay, he's dreaming, wakes up from that dream, and all of a sudden the camcorder, I'm like, oh, he filmed himself, and he's like, can he expect what's happening? And all of a sudden we see the girlfriend or the wife stabbing him through the camcorder screen. Really subtle, but oh my god, really, really crazy. The filmmaking aspect of what Aaron was capable of doing with directing was, I feel like, one of his best in a long time or ever for Social House Films. I mean, he knows how to do lighting, he knows how to capture certain essences of sound design as well. Music by Robot Disco Puma is really, really fun. If I'm getting that name mixed up or wrong, I apologize. And not only that, seeing Victoria always in a short horror film is always good, because she's a phenomenal actress. And, Aaron behind the scenes knows what he's doing. He knows how to do things, and he knows how to edit. And listen, I feel for him, because editing something like this can take time. It's continuous, it's strenuous, but when you get it done, you have that relief and feeling of being proud of your finished work. I would love to know more about Death Record. I want more from this story. I want to know if this 3-part miniseries was sort of a, like a little, how do I say, like a little tease about maybe they're going into feature films. Could this be turned into a feature film? We get the story of what happens on that record. We get that backstory. Who is this patient, this person? What is it? What's happening? All those, and who are these people? Who were the people in the beginning of part 1? How did they get a hold of certain things? How, maybe everyone's connected. We don't know. But the way Social House Films did this 3-part miniseries was really, really good. I had a fun time watching this. Now, this 3-part miniseries was released weekly and within 3 weeks. Part 1 came out June 7th, 2022. Part 2 came out June 14th, 2022. And Part 3 came out June 21st, 2022. Now, like I said, I always give my reviews after every part or every short horror film, but I figured this is a first of a short horror film that I'm reviewing like this for Film Stock Reviews, because it deserved it, and it's a 3-part series that I had a lot to talk about, and I couldn't just add it into the 3rd part of Death Record. I had to do a separate video like this I'm doing now and review the entirety of this miniseries. I want to see more miniseries from Social House Films because they have tremendous ideas, and I'm curious to see what they do next. For me, Death Record gets 5 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about the 3-part miniseries Death Record from Social House Films. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Did you like that it was broken down into 3 parts? Or do you think it would have been better if it was a whole, complete 37-minute plus film that they should have put on their YouTube page? And be sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. I'll leave a link to part 1, part 2, and part 3 of Death Record in the description box below as well. You guys can check it out and let me know what rating you would give Death Record. And once again, I want to congratulate Aaron and Victoria on getting married. Many, many congratulations to the both of you. And I can't wait to see what you have in store next, what the next story will be, what the next miniseries will be, what the next short horror film will be, and who the next actors and actresses you will be working with, because they definitely pick some amazing actors and actresses to work with. And hopefully, maybe we get Aaron himself in one of his short horror films. Yeah, I would love to see that. So let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked. And like I said, enjoy Death Record, the 3-part miniseries, and let me know what you think of it. And I'll see you guys in the next review video.